Every quest, every level up, every shadow soldier Jin-Woo summons from the dead, none of it is random. Today, I'm going to tell you who actually built the solo leveling system and why they chose Jin-Woo specifically. The truth is hidden in plain sight, in a few panels most fans missed. Welcome back to Manhwa ALLE. I'm doing something different today. Instead of breaking down what the anime cut from the manhwa, we're going deeper. We're going into the lore the anime hasn't even reached yet. If you watched Solo Leveling and thought the system was just a fun RPG game grafted onto the protagonist's life, you're going to be uncomfortable by the end of this video. By the time we're done, you'll understand who built it, why they built it, and what Jin-Woo really is. Here's the version of the system most viewers know. After Jin-Woo nearly dies in the double dungeon, he wakes up in the hospital. A blue notification window appears in front of him. It announces that he's been chosen as a player. It gives him quests, daily push-ups, sit-ups, running. If he completes them, he levels up. If he ignores them, he's punished by being teleported to a penalty zone. That's the version that looks like a video game. It's a clean, satisfying premise. A weak hunter gets a magical interface that makes him strong. The audience gets the dopamine hit of a leveling up power fantasy. The author gets a built-in mechanic to track and explain Jin-Woo's growth without having to hand-wave it. That's why most adaptation reviews stop here. The system equals magical RPG game. Done. Move on to the fight scenes. But the manhwa doesn't stop there, and the closer you read, the more wrong this surface reading becomes. Because the system has tells, behaviors that don't fit a generic RPG mechanic. Behaviors that suggest the system isn't a game at all. It's a presence, with opinions, with goals, and someone, somewhere, made it. It's hidden in the language the system uses. The system doesn't say progress detected, calculating next quest. It says the system recognizes the player's progress. Recognizes. That word implies consciousness. Calculation doesn't recognize anything. It just runs. And later, adjusts accordingly. Adjusts implies intention. The author is telling you the system is alive. Most fans miss it because they're reading for the action, not for the prose. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Watch the system carefully across the early chapters and a pattern emerges. It addresses Jin-Woo by name. It taunts him when he tries to disobey. It gives him quests that aren't just get stronger. They're specific. Lift these exact rocks, survive this exact dungeon, defeat this exact boss in this exact way. A generic magical interface wouldn't be this curated. A generic Isekai cheat skill wouldn't read his mind, anticipate his decisions, and adjust the difficulty in real time. The system tells him at one point. The system recognizes the player's progress. The system adjusts the next quest accordingly. Notice what's missing from that sentence. There's no algorithm, no code, no game engine. There's a system that recognizes like a conscious observer. And here's the second tell. The system has goals. It pushes Jin-Woo towards specific dungeons in specific orders. It rewards him for fighting specific kinds of enemies. The early arcs of the manhwa are structurally a curriculum. Like Jin-Woo is being trained for something, by something. By the time he's a B-rank hunter, even Jin-Woo himself starts asking the obvious question, who is on the other end of this thing? The manhwa answers him, slowly, through hints, through fragments, through one specific encounter in one specific dungeon. And the answer is the entire reason this video exists. Once you know the system is curating his choices, you have to ask, is Jin-Woo really making decisions? Every quest is on a path the architect chose. Every level up was scripted. The manhwa never resolves this question, and it's more interesting because of that. Most authors would feel obligated to give you a clean answer. Solo leveling lets you live in the ambiguity. The being that built the system is called the architect. In some translations, the tutorial architect. In others, the tutorial master. In the manhwa, his title is precise. He's the one who architected the system. He designed it, built it and runs it. He's not a god. He's not a monarch. He's something rarer. In Solo Leveling's cosmology, there are two opposing factions of ancient beings: the monarchs, who rule the magical races and want to dominate humanity, and the rulers, who oppose them and want to protect humanity. The rulers and the monarchs have been at war for longer than human civilization has existed. The architect is one of the rulers. When the rulers realized they were losing the war, that the monarchs were on the verge of breaking through to the human world and ending humanity entirely, they made a desperate plan. They needed a champion, a human who could match a monarch in single combat. The problem? No human alive could match a monarch. The gap is too wide. A B-rank hunter is a flea to a monarch, so they didn't choose a champion. They chose someone they could build into one. The architect's job was to design a tool that could take a single chosen human and transform them methodically over months into something powerful enough to survive a monarch. That tool is the system. The quests, the leveling, the daily training, the penalty zone, the dungeon objectives, every single one of them is part of a curriculum, calibrated, adjusted, personalized by the architect in real time for one specific human being. That human, of course, is Sung Jin-Woo. Honestly, it diminishes him a little for me. The system adjusts difficulty to make sure he survives. That's training wheels. Most heroes earn their growth without an external mind, calibrating their challenges in real time. Jin-Woo's overcame impossible odds arc is partly fabricated. The odds were calibrated to be exactly survivable. That's not a knock on the Manhwa. It's just an honest read of the structure. Here's where the solo leveling lore gets surgical. The architect didn't act on his own. The rulers as a faction had a plan, but the specific plan, to build the system and place it in Jin-Woo's hands, was directed by one being. His name is Ashborn, the original Shadow Monarch. Ashborn was originally one of the monarchs, the most powerful of them, the Shadow Monarch, the one who could raise the dead as soldiers. He fought alongside the other monarchs against the rulers. For ages, he was their champion. Then he betrayed them. The reason is rooted in the Manhwa's core ethics. The monarchs wanted to break through to humanity, to consume the human world. Ashborn, for reasons the Manhwa only hints at, saw something in humanity worth protecting. He defected to the ruler's side. He fought his former allies. He nearly won, but not quite. The monarchs collectively brought him down. They couldn't kill him. Monarchs cannot truly die, but they could weaken him to a fragment of his power. And so Ashborn waited, in the realm between life and death for centuries, waiting for a successor. He needed someone to take his power and finish the war. And he asked the architect, the ruler, whose specialty is constructing systems of training and selection, to build him a tool that could find the right human, train that human into a vessel, and prepare that human to receive Ashborn's full power. That tool is the system Jin-Woo woke up to in the hospital. The quests, the levels, the daily push-ups, they were all preparing Jin-Woo's body, mind, and soul to become Ashborn's heir. Here's what most viewers miss. The monarchs aren't evil. They're trying to take humanity to consume what's already happening to them at a higher cosmic level. Survival-driven, predator and prey. The Manhwa frames them as villains, but if you read carefully, they're the ones being hunted by something even bigger than themselves. That makes solo leveling a lot darker than the surface level suggests, and it's why Ashborn's defection lands as actual tragedy, not just good guy switches sides. Of all the humans on Earth, why Jin-Woo? The Manhwa's answer is darker than most fans expect. Jin-Woo wasn't chosen because he was strong. He was chosen because he was the weakest. The system needed someone with no existing magical ability to interfere with the conditioning, a blank slate. An E-rank hunter, the lowest possible classification, was ideal. Someone the world had already written off. Someone who wouldn't be missed. He needed to be motivated. The system works through reward and punishment, and Jin-Woo's life, sick mother, financial pressure, a younger sister to support, gave the system leverage. Every level the system dangled in front of him was a level that could mean food on the table. He couldn't say no. He needed to be alone in his own head. Jin-Woo's social isolation, the very thing the manhwa establishes in those early panels we already covered, like the coffee vendor scene, wasn't accidental. The architect needed someone the rest of humanity wouldn't notice changing, wouldn't ask questions about, wouldn't try to help or save, someone invisible. And he needed to be willing to push past human limits. The system's penalty zones are brutal. Most humans would break. Jin-Woo, having lived a life of pushing past pain just to survive, was conditioned to keep going. The architect didn't pick a hero. He picked a vessel that could be forged into one. Jin-Woo is finally about to come face to face with Ashborn. He's about to receive the power he was engineered for. But before we see what that looks like and what it costs him, make sure you hit subscribe so the algorithm brings you back for part 2 next week, where we cover Ashborn's full backstory, his betrayal of the other monarchs, and the war that's still being fought in the shadows. Now you know what the system actually is. It's not a game. It's not a magical interface. It's a precision-engineered training program built by one ancient being on behalf of another to forge one specific human into the only thing capable of stopping the apocalypse. That changes everything about how you read the story. Jin-Woo's growth isn't a power fantasy in the traditional sense. It's a curriculum. His free will is real. He chooses to keep going. But the choices in front of him were curated. The dungeons, the bosses, the timing of each upgrade, all of it was the architect, behind the curtain, adjusting the difficulty so the vessel would survive. Jin-Woo became a god, but he became one because someone built a tool to make him into one. The solo leveling of the title isn't just the genre, it's the literal description of what was done to him. The anime hasn't shown you any of this yet. Most adaptations stop at Jeju Island. The architect's role is only fully revealed past chapter 100 of the manhwa. That's the depth most viewers never reach. Honestly, the reveal lands different on reread. First time, you're discovering. Second time, you can never unknow. The weak hunter overcomes, beats hit less hard, because you know the architect was calibrating the difficulty curve. That's the structural cost of every late reveal twist. It trades emotional intensity in the early arc for analytical depth on reread. Worth it for me, but I get why some readers say the manhwa peaks before the reveal. So now you know who built the system and why they chose Jin-Woo. But how did Ashborn become the Shadow Monarch in the first place? What did the monarchs do that made him turn against his own kind? Click the video on screen right now to find out, and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the solo leveling lore the anime hasn't reached. I'm Manhwa ALLE. See you in part 2.